You're listening to Puma Podcast.
Allow me to begin with a quote by the first president of the Czech Republic, Václav Havel, who once remarked, "If a single writer in a country is in chains, then there are some links of that chain that bind us all." These profound words remind us of the cause of media freedom transcends borders, for when one voice is silenced, the very essence of our shared commitment to the truth and freedom is threatened. President Václav Havel was the writer himself, and he was jailed himself, so he knew what he was talking about.
The Czech Republic gave 1 million pesos to fund forums and a website in honor of slain radioman Percy Lapid. The donation forms part of the embassy's long-running mission of upholding press freedom in the Philippines. I'm Bella Perez Rubio, Puma Podcast, and in this episode of Teka Teka, we hear the story behind Czechia's deep commitment to a free and vibrant press and why it's become a cornerstone of its foreign policy.
Our country emerged from the shadow of a totalitarian regime that stick of media freedom for over 4 decades. This dark period has profoundly shaped our nation's commitment to ensuring that any constraints on media freedom are never repeated.
That's Dalibor Michka, Chargé d'Affaires ad interim of the Czech Embassy in Manila.
Since the Velvet Revolution of 1989, which peacefully overthrew the communist regime, the Czech Republic has prioritized press freedom as a fundamental pillar of its democratic transformation.
To give you an idea of what it used to be like in Czechia, here's former ambassador to Manila, Jana Sedeva, speaking at an Asia Society forum last year.
We did not have any female ambassador till 89-0, and we had only like 2 or 3 female colleagues at the foreign ministry. We had only 1 member of parliament. And now it's 33 years after the, in our case, Velvet Revolution, but since we have the democracy, it's improving, but it's very slow process. I never could go to university if the revolution would not happen. So, because I did not have the good, origin that time, if you were not from the prominent communist families, you could not get at university. So, of course, I could not get to the ministry. So, I can be here with you only because we have democracy.
The Philippines overthrew its own dictatorship in 1986, just 3 years before the Czech Republic. That's what makes the disparity between the states of press freedom in both countries so surprising. The latest edition of the Press Freedom Index, published by Reporters Without Borders, rates the journalism environment in the Czech Republic as satisfactory. That's the second best rating possible. Meanwhile, the journalism environment in the Philippines is rated difficult, the second worst rating possible. In terms of rank, the Czech Republic placed 14th out of 180. The Philippines was 132. That brings us back to why this forum was even happening in the first place. In the Philippines, journalists like Percy Lapid are shot dead. Here's Czech envoy Dalibor Michka again.
Our commitment to the similar causes that Percy Lapid devoted his life to is deeply rooted in the Czech Republic's own historical experience and unwavering dedication to media freedom.
So what exactly is the Czech Republic doing differently?
We have established a robust legal framework to protect and promote media freedom, enshrining it in our constitution and aligning with international agreements like the European Convention on Human Rights. Beyond our borders, the Czech Republic actively supports press freedom on the global stage, for example, through its diplomatic efforts and participation in international fora. As a member of the so-called Media Freedom Coalition, the Czech Republic has proactively responded to the challenges faced by journalists in peril. Following the commitment of the Czech Republic at the Global Conference on Media Freedom in 2022, our country has issued rapid emergency visas to journalists in danger, especially those seeking refuge from Russia and Belarus.
We'll be back after a quick break.
All of these efforts are anchored in our belief that media freedom is a universal value that requires international cooperation and protection. Our embassy goes beyond issuing statements that condemn attacks on journalists. More importantly, we work diligently to ensure that those responsible are held accountable. Through the Transition Promotion Program, we have extended support to this project in partnership with the Center for People's Media.
He's talking there about the 1 million peso donation I mentioned at the top of this episode. It went to the Center for People's Media, a local non-governmental organization, to fund a series of forums and a website commemorating Percy Lapid.
In Percy Lapid's case, we find parallels that shed light on the difficult circumstances faced by journalists not only in the Philippines, but also in other countries. More importantly, it underscores the steadfast dedication of journalists to uphold truth-telling, even in its significant personal perils. This serves as a powerful testament to the unwavering courage and commitment of journalists who stand as defenders of democracy.
And these donations are a regular activity for the Czech Republic through their Transition Promotion Program. It's a fund they use to support democracy and human rights, inspired by their own experience of social transition and democratization.
It is our strong belief that the lifeblood of an open and vibrant democracy is free and independent media, which play a crucial role in holding governments accountable and fostering informed and engaged citizenry. Without the free press, a nation's democratic fabric begins to unravel strand by strand, and the voices of its people are stifled.
Just 2 years ago, in 2021, the Czech Republic was 26 notches lower on the Press Freedom Index. Reporters Without Borders warned against the dramatic drop in access to information in the country. But the lifting of pandemic restrictions and the replacement of a populist government saw the country jump to number 20 out of 180 countries. Things improved even further this year.
Dear friends, the shared experience, history and values between the Czech Republic and the Philippines make our engagement in this cause particularly meaningful. Both our nations have a rich history of standing up for freedom and democracy, often against formidable odds. We both share the belief that a free press is essential to safeguarding these principles. I therefore enjoin you to draw inspiration from the life and courage of individuals like Percy Lapid, who embody these values.
And that was today's episode of Teka Teka. Again, I'm Bella Perez Rubio. Freddie Blanco edited this episode. Our executive producer is Jill Caro, and our senior news editor is Veronica Uy. Learn something new from this episode? Let us know in the comments on YouTube or on social media if you're listening to this on your podcast app. Thanks for listening.